In the name of Almighty God, the most compassionate and the most merciful, I welcome you all, my lovely brothers and sisters from all over the world. By the way, today we will talk about double angles in terms of half angle. I mean 2 alpha in terms of 1 alpha. And so we will talk about triple angles in terms of 1 alpha. Please find a place. The lecture is easy. We will have a proof of the formulas, and in the upcoming lectures we will have our most interesting and fantastic examples, inshallah. By the way, defining the trigonometric ratios, trigonometric ratios of double angles, double in terms of half angle. What do we mean by double angle? For example, 2 alpha. What is its half angle? Alpha. If I have 4 alpha, now what's its half? 2 alpha. If I have alpha, what's its half? Alpha by 2. If I have alpha by 2, what is its half? Alpha by 4. I think you have got. If I have alpha by 5, what's its half? Alpha by 10. Just put a 2 in denominator. By the way, we will talk if I have 2 alpha, how we can find alpha, or if I have alpha, how we can find 2 alpha. Am I right? Okay. It's very easy. Suppose we want to find the formula for sine 2 alpha. Can we write sine 2 alpha, sine alpha plus alpha? Yes, we can do. If I put this alpha is alpha and this alpha instead of beta, if I put alpha in the formula of sine of alpha plus beta, so we are able to define sine of 2 alpha. What is the formula for sine 2 alpha? Sine of alpha plus beta. Alpha plus beta is sine alpha cosine beta plus cosine alpha sine beta. We have proved in 3.1. Okay, so we can write sine of alpha is alpha, cosine of beta, what's instead of beta? Alpha, plus cosine of alpha is alpha, and instead of beta put once again alpha. Now, sine of alpha plus alpha, it's 2 alpha. Sine alpha cosine alpha, sine alpha cosine alpha. I think 2 times of sine alpha cosine alpha. This is the definition for 2 alpha in terms of alpha. Alpha is the half of 2 alpha, or 2 alpha is the double form of the alpha. So if I have sine of 4 alpha, now what's the formula? 2 sine of its half, 2 alpha times cosine of 2 alpha. If you want to memorize, sine of 2 alpha is 2 sine of half cosine of its half. Sine of 4 alpha, 2 sine of its half times cosine of its half. If I have sine of 6 alpha, 2 sine of its half, what's the 6 alpha half? I think 3 alpha times cosine of 3 alpha. If I have sine of 10 alpha, what do you think? 2 sine of 5 alpha times of cosine of 5 alpha. If I have sine of alpha, so 2 sine of alpha by 2 cosine of alpha by 2. If I have sine of alpha by 2, 2 sine of alpha by 4 cosine of alpha by 4. I think you have got. Write it. We will go on cosine of 2 alpha. Cosine of 2 alpha. Can we write this one cosine of alpha plus alpha? Yes, we can do. If this one is alpha and the second alpha, if we nominate this one beta, so cosine of alpha plus beta. What's the formula for cosine of alpha plus beta? Cosine of alpha plus beta is cosine alpha cosine beta minus sine alpha sine beta. Am I right? Yes. Now cosine of alpha plus alpha is cosine of alpha is alpha, this is beta, times of cosine of, instead of beta we can put once again alpha. Am I right? Minus sine of alpha times sine of, instead of beta once again alpha. So cosine of alpha plus alpha to alpha, cosine cosine, it's cosine square of alpha minus sine square of alpha. This is the formula that we found for cosine of 2 alpha. So how we can memorize? Cosine of double alpha is equal to cosine square of its half minus sine square of its half. What do I mean? Can I write for cosine of 4 alpha? Yes, cosine square of its half 2 alpha minus sine square of its half 2 alpha. If we want to find this one, cosine of for 5 alpha, cosine square of its half, what's its half for 5 alpha? 5 alpha by 2 minus sine square of 5 alpha by 2. If we want to find for cosine of alpha by 2, what's the formula for its half? Cosine square of alpha by 2 half alpha by 4 minus sine square of alpha by 4, like this one. But we can have a change also in this formula. What do I mean? Cosine of 2 alpha is cosine square of alpha minus sine square of alpha or not? Yes. Now instead of cosine square, can I write 1 minus sine square? Yes, we can do. Cosine of 2 alpha is equal to, instead of cosine square, we can write 1 minus sine square of alpha. Yes, minus sine square of alpha. Cosine of 2 alpha is, now open the bracket, 1 minus sine square minus 2 sine square of alpha. This is another formula that we can have for cosine of 2 alpha. We can memorize cosine of 2 alpha is equal to 1 minus 2 sine square of its half. If this one is 2 alpha, this one is alpha. If this one is alpha, it's alpha by 2. It's alpha by 4, it's alpha by 8. If this one is 6 alpha, this one is 3 alpha. Also we can have another change for this one. What do I mean? Cosine of 2 alpha is cosine square of half minus sine square of its half or not? Yes. Now cosine of 2 alpha, put this one, cosine square of alpha, put this one, minus, instead of this one, can we write 1 minus cosine square? Instead of sine square, can we write 1 minus cosine square of alpha? Yes, we can do. So open the bracket, cosine of 2 alpha is equal to cosine square of alpha minus 1 minus positive cosine square of alpha. Now cosine of 2 alpha is cosine square 2 cosine square of alpha minus 1. This is another change that we can have for cosine of 2 alpha. Cosine of 2 alpha is cosine square of its half minus sine square of its half, or 1 minus 2 sine square its half, or 2 cosine square its half minus 1. 2 cosine square of its half minus 1. What do I mean? For example, if I have cosine of 6 alpha, now can we write this one for its half angle? Yes, we have 3 ways. If I write in this term, so we can write cosine square of its half. What's 6 alpha half? 3 alpha minus sine square of 3 alpha. If you want to use this formula, 1 minus 2 sine square of its half, what's the half for 6 alpha? It is 3 alpha. If we want to use that formula, the last one, so we can write 2 cosine square of its half. What's the half of 6 alpha? 3 alpha minus 1. I think you have got it. Write it, please. Okay, come to tangent. Tangent of 2 alpha. Can we write this one, tangent of alpha plus alpha? Yes, we can do. Now, if the first one is alpha and the second one we name beta, beta is equal to alpha. So, I think it got the shape of tangent of alpha plus beta. Now, the form for the tangent of alpha plus beta, we have proved that this one is what's the formula we can use for this one? We use tangent of alpha plus tangent beta, am I right? Divided by 1 minus tangent alpha times tangent beta. I think we have proved this one in 3.1. So tangent of alpha plus alpha, in which this one is beta, tangent of alpha plus tangent of, instead of beta, once again alpha, divided by 1 minus tangent of alpha times tangent of beta instead of beta, alpha, tangent of alpha. Right? Yes, tangent of alpha plus alpha, it's 2 alpha. So tangent alpha, 2 tangent alpha, divided by 1 minus tangent what? Square of alpha. This is the formula we can use for tangent of 2 alpha. How we can memorize? Tangent of 2 alpha is 2 tangent of its half divided by 1 minus tangent square of its half. I mean, if I have tangent of 4 alpha, we can say 2 tangent of its half. What's the half for 4 alpha? 2 alpha, divided by 1 minus tangent square of 2 alpha. Am I right? Tangent of 6 alpha, 2 tangent of its half, 3 alpha, divided by 1 minus tangent square of its half, 3 alpha. If we want to use tangent of x divided by 2, x divided by 2 is an angle. So 2 tangent of its half, x by 4, divided by what? 1 minus tangent square of x by 2, it's half of x by 2, I think x by 4. Write it please. Or we can say that instead of this one we can use tangent to alpha, and instead of tangent alpha we can use this form for all of them. Our next topic, trigonometric ratios of triple angles in terms of alpha. What do I mean? If I have 3 alpha and in terms of alpha, 6 alpha in terms of 2 alpha, it means we have to define the alpha triple angles. 2 alpha, the triple form is 6 alpha. If we have 3 alpha, the triple form is 9 alpha. Before we defined double angles, now triple angles. Okay. How we can do? Very easy. If we want to define sine of 3 alpha, can we write this one? Sine of 2 alpha plus alpha. Yes. So this one is alpha, this one is beta. Sine of alpha plus beta. How we can define sine of alpha plus beta? Sine of alpha, which is 2 alpha, cosine beta, which is alpha, plus cosine alpha, which is 2 alpha, and sine beta, which is alpha. Am I right? Yes. Now sine of 2 alpha plus alpha is 3 alpha. Instead of 2 alpha we have to define its half. So what's the formula for sine of 2 alpha? For this one we have proved 2 sine of its half times cosine of its half. Am I right? Yes. Now put this one, cosine of alpha, plus instead of cosine of 2 alpha we have 3 formula, cosine square minus sine square, 2 cosine square minus 1, and 1 minus 2 sine square. We can use all of them, but I want to use the triple form in terms of all of the trigonometric ratios. I want to define in terms of sine, so we can use 1 minus 2 sine square. Or if you do not use, then write whatever formula for cosine of 2 alpha you can use. Okay, instead of cosine of 2 alpha we can write cosine square of alpha minus sine square of alpha. Am I right? Yes. Times sine alpha. Now sine of 3 alpha is equal to sine of alpha, cosine it is cosine square of alpha, plus now instead of this cosine can I use 1 minus sine square? Yes, that 1 minus sine square with this sine square it becomes 1 minus 2 sine square. So we can put 1 minus 2 sine square of alpha. Why do we use in terms of sine? Just listen, you will define and you will know. This plus times 1 plus 1 plus 1 times sine alpha, it is sine alpha, and plus with this negative, it's negative 2 sine cube of alpha, 2 sine square with this one, 2 sine cube. Okay, sine of 3 alpha, 2 sine of alpha, put this one. Instead of this one, can we use 1 minus sine square of alpha plus sine alpha minus 2 sine cube of alpha? Yes, we can do. So sine of 3 alpha is 2 sine times this one, it's 2 sine of alpha, 2 sine times this one, 2 sine cube of alpha plus sine alpha, am I right? Minus 2 sine cube of alpha. So we can use sine of 3 alpha is 2 sine alpha plus sine alpha, it is 3 sine of alpha, minus 2 sine cube, it is 4 sine cube of alpha. Now this is the formula for triple angles in terms of its angle. If I have sine of 6 alpha, now this 6 alpha is triple angle for which angle? 2, for 2. The 2 alpha triple is 6 alpha. So we can use this one, 3 sine of 2 alpha minus 4 sine of, it is triple form. This is the triple form for 2 alpha. So if I have sine of 12 alpha, now 12 alpha is the triple form of which angle? I think 4. So we can use 3 sine of 4 alpha minus 4 sine cube of 4 alpha. Why? Because the 4 alpha triple form is 12 alpha. Am I right or not? Yes. If I have sine of alpha, so this is the triple form of alpha by 3. We can use 3 sine alpha by 3 minus 4 alpha by 3 minus 4 sine cube of alpha by 3. Like this one we can use. Write it please. Come to cosine. Cosine of 3 alpha. Can we write this one, cosine of 2 alpha plus alpha? Yes or no? Yes. So this 2 alpha is alpha and this one is beta. So it got the form of cosine of alpha plus beta. What's the formula? Cosine cosine, cosine of 2 alpha, cosine of beta, which is alpha, minus sine sine. Am I right? Yes. Sine of 2 alpha times sine of alpha. Okay. Now cosine of 2 alpha with 1 alpha, it's 3 alpha. Cosine of 2 alpha in terms of its half, we have 3 definition: cosine square minus sine square, 2 cosine square minus 1, and 1 minus 2 sine square. I think you have to use 2 cosine square minus 1. Why? Because I want to define the cosine in terms of cosine, which I defined like previous, sine of 3 alpha in terms of all of the trigonometric ratios which I used in 3 alpha. For the sine, it was sine. So in here I want to use for cosine of 3 alpha cosine, so we have to use the cosine 2 alpha in terms of cosine. Okay, times cosine of alpha minus, what's the formula for this one? 2 sine of alpha times cosine of alpha times sine of alpha. Right or not? Yes. Cosine of 3 alpha is this 2 cosine square times this one, it is 2 cosine cube of alpha minus cosine of alpha minus 2 cosine alpha, put this one. Now sine, it is sine square of alpha. Okay, cosine of 3 alpha, 2 cosine cube of alpha minus cosine of alpha minus 2 cosine alpha Now instead of this one, can I use 1 minus cosine square of alpha? Yes, why not? Okay, cosine of 3 alpha, we can have 2 cosine cube of alpha minus cosine alpha minus 2 cosine alpha times 1, it is 2 cosine alpha, minus minus positive, 2 cosine times cosine, 2 cosine cube of alpha. So cosine of 3 alpha, we can use 2 cosine cube plus 2 cosine cube, it is 4 cosine cube of alpha minus cosine minus 2 cosine, I think it is minus 3 cosine, minus 3 cosine alpha. Now one thing you have to know, for cosine of 3 alpha, what's the formula? 4 cosine cube alpha minus 3 cosine alpha. What's the formula for sine of 3 alpha? I proved. What's this one? I think there was just a change. 3 sine alpha minus 4 sine cube alpha. Now, just we have change in its position. This is defined in terms of sine, and this is defined in terms of cosine. Cosine 3 alpha, 4 cosine cube minus 3 cosine alpha, and sine 3 alpha, 3 sine alpha minus 4 sine cube of alpha. I think you have got. Now we will go on tangent of 3 alpha. Write it please. Okay, tangent of 3 alpha. Can I write this one? Tangent of 2 alpha plus 1 alpha. Yes, I think it's an easy topic. This one is alpha and this one is beta. So cosine of alpha plus beta. What's the formula we can use for alpha plus beta? I think tangent of alpha, which is 2 alpha, plus tangent of beta, which is alpha. Right or wrong? Right. 1 minus tangent of alpha, which is 2 alpha, times tangent of beta, which is alpha. Now in here, tangent of 2 alpha plus 1 alpha, it's 3 alpha. Now you have to define tangent of 2 alpha in terms of tangent of its half. What's the half form for this one? 2 tangent of alpha divided by 1 minus tangent square of alpha plus tangent alpha divided by 1 minus, what's the formula for this one? 2 tangent of its half divided by 1 minus tangent square of its half times tangent of alpha. Now simplify this one, you will find the formula for tangent of 3 alpha. So tangent of 3 alpha is, this is our this line. Now you have to, in here for the simplification for this factor, you have to find the denominator factor. It is 1 minus tangent square of alpha, so numerator is 2 tangent alpha plus, and this multiplied by this one, tangent alpha minus tangent cube of alpha, right? Okay, now in here once again 1 minus tangent alpha, tangent square of alpha, so 1 times the 1 multiplied with this one, 1 minus tangent square of alpha minus 2 tangent with this tangent, it is 2 tangent square of alpha. We can cancel this one. Now tangent of 3 alpha is, tangent of 3 alpha is 2 tangent with tangent, 3 tangent minus tangent cube divided by 1 minus tangent square minus 2 tangent square minus 3 tangent square, 1 minus 3 tangent square of alpha. The triple form for alpha is 3 alpha. If this one is 2 alpha, this one should be 6 alpha. If this one is alpha by 3, this is alpha. If this one is 5 alpha, this is 3 times 5 alpha, which is 15. I think you have got. Write it please. Our next topic, trigonometric ratios of 4 times of angle in terms of alpha. It means alpha with 4 alpha, 2 alpha with 8 alpha. We have defined double, triple, now we will define 4 times. Very easy. Sine for 4 alpha. Can we write this one? Sine alpha plus 3 alpha? Yes. When I defined and proved this formula, you can define 5 alpha, 6 alpha, 7 alpha. 2 alpha is defined by the help of 1 alpha. 3 alpha defined by help of 2 alpha. Now 4 alpha can be defined by help of 3 alpha. 5 alpha can be defined by help of 4 alpha. What do I mean? Sine of alpha plus 3 alpha. So our first is alpha and this one is beta. Sine of alpha plus beta. What's the formula? Sine alpha, am I right? Yes. Cosine beta, which is 3 alpha, plus cosine alpha, sine beta, which is 3 alpha. Now sine of alpha plus 3 alpha, it's 4 alpha. Sine alpha, put this one. Now what's the definition for cosine of 3 alpha in terms of alpha? It is 4 cosine cube alpha minus 3 cosine alpha. Am I right? Yes. Plus cosine alpha. Now what's the definition for this one? It is 3 sine, this is 3 sine alpha, 3 sine alpha minus 4 sine cube alpha. We have a change just in its position and its trigonometric ratio. Okay, so sine of 4 alpha is equal to sine alpha times this one. It is sine alpha times this one. This is 4 sine alpha cosine cube alpha minus sine with this one, 3 sine alpha cosine alpha plus 3 sine alpha cosine alpha and plus with this negative, it's negative, 4 sine cube cosine alpha. Now what do you think? Sine of 4 alpha, put this one. Now this one, put this one also. 4 sine square minus what? Minus whatever is this one. Whatever this one is, put this one. 4 sine alpha cosine cube. 4, we don't have any like term like this one. Okay, 4 sine alpha cosine cube. This one is cancel. Am I right? Yes. Minus 4 sine cube cosine alpha. Sine of 4 alpha, 4 sine alpha cosine cube minus 4 sine cube cosine alpha. 4 we have. One is sine, the power is 1, sine 3. Cosine power is 1, cosine power is 3. Write it please. Cosine for 4 alpha. Can we write this one? Cosine for alpha plus 3 alpha. Right or wrong? Right. Okay. This alpha is alpha. This 3 alpha is beta. Cosine alpha plus beta. What's the formula? Cosine cosine minus sine sine. Now define 3 alpha in terms of alpha. Cosine of alpha plus 3 alpha is 4 alpha. So cosine alpha, put this one as it is. Cosine of 3 alpha. What's the formula for this one? Cosine of 3 alpha. 4 cosine cube alpha minus 3 cosine alpha. Am I right? Yes. Minus sine alpha. Now what's the formula for this one? 3 sine alpha minus 4 sine cube of alpha. Correct? Okay. Now cosine 4 alpha is, we have a multiplication in here. Cosine with this one, it's 4 cosine to the power 4 of alpha minus 3 cosine square of alpha. So minus 3 sine square of alpha and minus with this minus positive 4 sine to the power 4 of alpha. This formula is correct, but we can have a little change also. We can have, what do I mean? I mean cosine of 4 alpha, put this one. 4 cosine to the power 4 of alpha, put this one. We have minus 3 as a factor in here, so it is cosine square. This minus with this minus is positive. 3 divided by 3 is 1, sine square. Am I right or not? 4 instead of this one, can I write this one 1 minus cosine square to the power 2? Yes, 1 minus cosine square is sine square to the power 2, it's sine to the power 4. So this one is 1. Now cosine of 4 alpha, 4 cosine to the power 4 of alpha, minus 3 plus 4. Now you can expand this binomial expansion. 1 square minus 2 cosine square, am I right? Plus cosine to the power 4 of alpha. Now you can have cosine of 4 alpha is equal to 4 cosine to the power 4 alpha minus 3 plus 4 times 1, 4 minus 4 times this one, 8 cosine square of alpha plus 4 cosine to the power 4 of alpha. Now you can have cosine of 4 alpha is 4 cosine to the power 4, 4 cosine to the power 4, it is 8 cosine to the power 4 alpha. Am I right? Yes. Now minus 8 cosine square of alpha, and 4 with minus 3, it is 1. We can define cosine of 4 alpha. 8 cosine to the power 4 alpha minus 8 cosine to the power alpha plus 1. If this one is 2 alpha, then this one is 4th time. I mean, what's the 4th time for 2 alpha? 8 alpha. If we have cosine of 8 alpha, 8 cosine to the power 4 2 alpha minus 8 cosine square of 2 alpha plus 1. If we have this one, for example what? For example 12. So this is 12 by 3. 12 by 4, I'm sorry. So 3 alpha, you can use. Write it please, because it's the 4th formula, or 4 times. What's the 4 times for 3? It's 12. Tangent 4 alpha. Now, how we can define? Yes, tell me please. Yes, correct. Tangent of alpha plus 3 alpha. This one is alpha, the first one, alpha, and this one is beta. Use the formula for alpha plus beta. Tangent alpha plus tangent beta, 1 minus tangent alpha times tangent of beta. Now define 3 alpha in terms of alpha. So tangent of alpha plus 3 alpha is 4 alpha. Tangent alpha plus, what's the formula for this one? We have proved 3 tangent alpha minus tangent cube of alpha divided by 1 minus 3 tangent square of alpha. Am I right or not? 3 tangent alpha minus tangent 3 tangent alpha minus tangent cube divided by 1 minus 3 tangent square of alpha. Yes. Okay. 1 minus tangent alpha times formula for this one, 3 tangent alpha minus tangent cube divided by 1 minus 3 tangent square of alpha. So tangent of 4 alpha is equal to, now you have to simplify this numerator. What's the factor for that one? It is 1 minus 3 tangent square of alpha. This time this one, it is tangent of alpha minus 3 tangent cube of alpha. Am I right? This multiplied with this one. Yes. Plus with this one, plus 3 tangent alpha, plus with this negative, it is negative tangent cube of alpha. Yes. Now the same we have in denominator, 1 minus 3 tangent square of alpha. 1 times this one, 1 minus 3 tangent square of alpha, minus tangent alpha times this one, minus 3 tangent square of alpha. Negative with this negative, it is plus. Tangent with this one, tangent to the power 4 of alpha. Have I got any mistake? I think no. Okay, this is cancelled. Now we have tangent of 4 alpha is equal to, what do we have in numerator? Tangent with this 3 tangent, 4 tangent alpha, minus 3 tangent cube, minus tangent cube, it is minus 4 tangent cube of alpha. Am I right? Denominator 1 minus 3 tangent square, 3 tangent square, 6 tangent square of alpha, and plus tangent to the power 4 of alpha. This is the formula that we can use for 4 alpha. If this one is alpha, all of them, so this is 4 alpha. If this one is 2 alpha, this is 4 times of 2 alpha, which is 8 alpha. If this one is 5 alpha, 5 alpha, 5 alpha, so what is the 4 times of 5? 20. So it should be the formula for tangent of 20 alpha. I think you have got it. Write it, please. By the way, it was all we had in this lecture. Inshallah, in the upcoming lectures, we will have our most interesting examples, maybe, or maybe we'll talk about I think defining of the angles in terms of cosine of half, inshallah. By the way, see you. Allah Hafiz.